this topic really fast because there are books the size of like coffee tables on the copyright world. And I can't explain the copyright world to you in this short podcast. And even in the copyright world where you have copyright lawyers, they even fight amongst one another about copyright laws and interpretations thereof. Here's the point. When it comes to copyrights, yes, you should have your music copyrighted. Now, for those of you who are in the U.S. citizens, our rules state that as soon as you put your music onto your phone, you sing it into your computer, it's on your digital audio workstation, you jot, lyrics down on a napkin, you draw them on the wall. The point is, as soon as your music is on something that is fixed, again, like the things I just mentioned, your music in this country is technically copyrighted, meaning you have a right to copy your music. You don't need to have some form or some type of declaration for that to happen. It's just a law that we have. But, a lot of you guys are saying, well, hold up. What about the little C that people put on the music once they're done with it? Again, it's copyrighted. Here's the thing, though. If you were ever to get in a situation where you had to defend your copyright in court, or you wanted to take someone to court about infringing on your rights, on your copyrights, they copied your music without your permission, you are highly advised to have filed your music with the Copyright Office in Washington, D.C. So this is now probably getting closer to what you've understood as getting a copyright. Now, here's the beauty of what I'm going to tell you here. Getting a copyright is not complicated at all. Go to copyright.gov. You can actually do all of this stuff online. You can upload multiple songs for one fee, by the way, on their website. If you're at the point of getting ready to put your copyrights together or get your songs copyrighted, take some time, look at their website. I'll do you one better. Give them a call. There's a guy that sits in DC. His job is to take your call and answer questions about how to file your copyrights. He's not there, by the way, to give you advice. Okay. So he's not going to tell you whether or not you should cut your boy in on a track that he wrote with you. He can't tell you stuff like that. He can't give you advice as to, hey, should I give this guy 50% of my song or 20%? They won't answer questions like that, but they will tell you that, hey, in order to file your copyright, you need this piece of information. This box right here, that means this. But again, it's free information. Call the phone number on the copyright website and you can get your music copyrighted officially. And once you do that, you pay a small fee. In, a few weeks or so, you will get an official form from the U.S. government with a seal on it saying that your songs are copyrighted, not copywritten. Copyrighted, because again, we're dealing with a right. You have a right to copy your song. All right. So let me move on from that. So just know that that's something that you can do with just a bit of research. I told you where to go. All right. Next point. He also asked me, hey, Walt, how do I stand out? How do I separate our music, our band, our act, my artist from everyone that's out there? And it feels like everything that we're talking about today is stuff that we covered in a full episode. But this goes back to the music marketing episode where we talked about branding. That's where I start with everyone when it comes to the question of how do I stand out as a musician? You simply need a brand. Now, I'm going to try to answer this in a very simple and clean way here for those of you who did not hear that episode. In order to stand out as a musician, sometimes standing out or oftentimes standing out has nothing to do with being a musician. Let me say that one more time because that may have just gone over your head. In order to stand out as a musician, or to have your own brand as a musician, sometimes you may do things that have nothing that relates to musicianship. Let me give you an example. And this is what I told the guy that I talked to this week. There's a young kid that I used to babysit way back in the day when I lived up in Cleveland. He's since, of course, grown up, and he's in his 20s now, and he's done a lot musically. In fact, he's been on tour with a major artist that globally everyone knows. He was the backup singer for this artist. Anyhow, he went on to just launch his own career. He's doing quite well. He's on a lot of different shows. You see him on TV. I mean, he's everywhere. Has I forget how many views he has online. I mean, the guy has really blown up musically. He has a phenomenal voice, has a phenomenal stage presence. But in terms of branding, the thing that I noticed is that in everything he's been doing since he's got into the music game, he's always wearing something yellow. Yellow hat, yellow scarf, yellow pants, yellow rim glasses. It's just a thing that he does. That's just kind of, a part of his personality. It's kind of a quirky thing, but it's now shifted from a quirky thing into being his brand. And again, that may sound very simple and just kind of, for you, it may sound ridiculous. I can tell you for him, it is so working. If I can, I wish I can point you to some of his work right now, but the guy has blown up in terms of just notoriety. And I mean, he's known all over the industry, out in LA, New York, you name it. And he's been all over the globe, by the way, doing his music. So the point is, he's just used this as his branding. I mean, there's other things too. I'm kind of simplifying it a bit, but this is a major part of what he does. And him wearing yellow at every concert, plaid shirt, yellow jacket, yellow this, yellow shoes, it's not making any difference musically for him. But from an appearance standpoint, it's just different. So if you were to describe him as oh yeah, that dude that can really, really sing. Yeah, the dude that's always wearing yellow. Well, automatically you've separated yourself from every other artist out there by doing something simple like that. So here's the answer. As a musician, find something that you can maybe feature about yourself, about your personality, that's a bit different than everyone else, and just take that one thing and just keep featuring it, doing it over and over and over again, or putting it out there over and over again until it becomes a part of your brand. It may be fashion sense like this guy. It may be a lifestyle thing. I don't know. Maybe you're into horseback riding, and every time you're doing your song, you got videos with you on horseback. That's kind of silly, but the point is, figure out something that you can essentially feature and cause you to stand out just from a presentation standpoint. And that's what branding is largely about. All right, let me move on to the next point here, because that subject can go on very, very deep. And again, just go back and check out the episode on music marketing and check out the branding episode. All right, last thing here. This guy said to me, "Hey, Walt, I want more fans. I want more people following my music. I want people to really get behind what I'm doing." All right, here's the thing that was actually mentioned on our recent episode, Managing Your Band, with Dr. Stephen Marconi and David Phil. In that episode, they talked about taking the average fan that you have and making that person into a raving fan. That's how you gain more fans. So in other words, stop focusing on growing your fan base. Focus on the people that you already have following you. Even if it's 2 people, 20 people, 30 people, take those people who have bought your stuff before or are, following you on your social media platforms. Try to focus on those people. I'm going to give you guys just a random example that has nothing to do with music. So every year or so, I have cable and internet at my house, and every year I get this bill that just jumps up dramatically. It's really annoying. I'm paying one thing, and then magically my bill goes way up, and I get all crazy. I get all angry, and and I call them. I'm like, "Guys, I'm out of here. I'm leaving." And soon as I get ready to leave, then they offer me some type of deal, but it's never as really good as it was in the beginning. But meanwhile, on TV, I'm looking at this phenomenal deal. Like, well, wait a minute. On TV, I saw that you guys are offering cable for X dollars, like $2. And what do they say? Oh, that's for new customers. I cannot stand that. It's the stupidest. Okay, let me calm down. I'm getting angry all over. The point is, a lot of times companies, and I'm talking about you and your music now, you put an emphasis on getting brand new people versus really taking care of the people you already have. And that was really the point of my example. So instead of you going out and trying to figure out, I need 50 more fans. I want 50 more downloads. I need like 1 billion people to follow me on social media. How about you take the 10 people you have following you and do right by them? Now, here's where the magic is. If you can do right by these people, and this is where I'm going back to the episode with managing your band, you can turn those individual fans into raving, proactive fans. That's how you grow your base, because those people will tell their people, and their people will tell their people. Does that make sense? If you can start, it's almost like those multi-level marketing schemes, but in a good way. This one is a good one, where if I can get the one guy to really get behind my music, then maybe that one guy can get 2 people, and then those 2 people get 4 people, and it grows exponentially. And here's the magic word for online promotion: organically, a way that you don't have to pay a ton of money for. In our first example for promotion, right? It can happen organically. Does it take forever? Yeah. That's why promotion seems so awesome, because you can just throw some money at it and hope that you can get 1 billion streams. But if you do it this way, if you take care of the people you have, those people will grow exponentially. And you don't need to have 1 billion fans. If you have, and I heard this before, and I said this in a previous episode too. If you have, let's say, 1,000 fans, and over the course of a year, each person in your audience, they were to spend $100 with you, maybe $10 on an album, another $10 on an album. You drop some merch. I don't know, it's $15, $25. You have some type of gear or whatever, posters, box set, blah, 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 doing some shows, what have you. But over the course of a year, that one fan, let's say that person loves your stuff and they manage to spend $100 over the course of a year, and you have 1,000 of these people. How much money are you making? You're doing pretty well. And that's only with 1,000 people, not 50 million views on YouTube or whatever. So the point is, do right by those people. And let me go back to a previous point here, and I mentioned this at the top of the show, the whole Spotify thing. When you do right by these people, that means you're interacting with them online. Maybe you give them access to some free bonus material. Maybe you have some scratch tracks or some demos you didn't completely finish. Maybe polish them up a bit, send it to them for free, or give them a link or something like that, free access to some of your extra tracks. Like, yo, man, was just thinking about you. Appreciate you supporting me. Hey, here's some extra content for you. Check it out. Like, you engage people that way. And then they're like, oh, snap, X, Y, and Z, reached out to me. He's interacting with me. He or she is like, really down to earth. They kind of connect. And that person will show some love for you on their network. Now, here's a big thing. I mentioned the whole Spotify playlist thing, right? Now, imagine people like this. They are, let's say, on Spotify, and they are creating playlists, and now they're putting your track on there. That's how you gain more fans, because that one dude out there or one dudette, they put that track onto their playlist. Then the Spotify algorithms out there, the artificial intelligence out there for the computing world, it starts to say, hey, you know what? This guy's material or this girl's material is being added to playlists, and then more and more people are following it, and it's spreading organically. Hey, this person should maybe be featured in the little discovery area. And the next thing you know, your music grows exponentially. So again, if you treat people well, they'll put you on playlists, they'll download your music, They'll like your music. They'll review your music. But it all starts with doing right by the people you have versus the people you're trying to get.